Hey everybody. In today's video, we are going to make some abstract paintings with the help of a guest artist, my sister, and we're going to make them with paint sticks. I recently discovered these paint sticks and they're a lot of fun. So we hung out in the garage and we just played around with them. Now we tried them on various surfaces and found a couple of really interesting things. So I tried them on vellum. I loved them on vellum. You'll see some of the little art pieces. I did some little mini art pieces with them, and you'll see what I did. And then my sister has a slightly larger piece of Duralar, it's similar to vellum, but it's also a little bit different. This has a frosted finish, and it makes a great surface to use these sticks on. These are sort of like a cross between an oil pastel and a gelato, I would say. And they're great for making really abstract paintings. But what you have to know about them is you have to build up a lot of layers to really get a look that you like. So we were playing with these. It was my niece, my sister. We had never tried them before. I just got the box and ran over with it. And so we tried it on paper. We tried it on a bunch of different things. We found some things that didn't work. For example, the blending really only happens when they're wet, and they do tend to dry pretty quickly on most surfaces. So if you're on just a regular cardstock or copy paper, the pigment might just grab and stay where it is, and you might not get these beautiful sort of impressionistic effects that she is getting here. So what we found is that building up layer after layer after layer, kind of working through the ugly duckling phases, and there will be an ugly duckling phase, and continuing to add color, mixing dry and wet layers, as you will see her do in just a second, that you can get some really beautiful stuff. So she's built up a lot of layers and now she's drying it. And this is a really important step for sort of separating out the details that you want to see at the end. Now, you'll see that the sky doesn't look super blended. You can sort of see some little smush marks. That kind of thing will all go away if you're patient enough to just keep going. And what's great is the colors are really, really vibrant. We were actually kind of surprised by some of the colors because these are fairly inexpensive. We weren't sure what to expect with the pigment, and they were very saturated. The purple especially is really, really gorgeous. You'll see her using the purple as a detailed element here. But when you use it she used it a little bit in the sky at the top with that darker blue. It's just stunning. I mean, it's just amazing. So you can see you can get a pretty sharp line with the edge of the paint stick. And she's going back to sort of soften that out so that the dark purple just ends up as sort of a shaded element in this little painting. And this is so much fun, I have to say. One of the things we realized while we were doing these, we just did them over and over again, is it is a very fun, like tactile experience painting with these. So I think you'll enjoy the process, even if you're not into abstract painting. They would be great just for colorful, colorful backgrounds. So imagine this where you're not trying to make this look like a field with flowers. You're just trying to make it look like a background for a card with water or sky or whatever. I love the sky in this one. Then you would have a great background, and the process of creating them is so much fun. So now here she's stopping to dry again, and then she's going in on top of that dry paint with pink. And you're going to see at the end when she goes to take the tape off that it really does create a really thick paint layer, which is super fun. So that allows her to add more colors on top, kind of opaque colors, and sort of soften down some of those details. This pink is really gorgeous too. Then there's going to be a magical part at the end that I was not expecting, that I actually ended up really liking. So now she's going in to dry just the flower area so that she can continue to work on those. So you'll want to, if you want just a pop of color like this white, if you want the color to stand out against the background, you'll really want to dry those layers if you're working on a surface like this. Now she's adding back in some pink around there. You can fix mistakes. It's a very forgiving medium. You can change these little shapes. Looks like she's trying to change the shape of the center of the flower. And then, of course, you can add other colors. The black is surprisingly fun. The brown is really beautiful. It's like a burnt sienna. So here she goes to take the tape off, and see how it acted like acrylic paint, and it pulled up a little bit of the side, that one side of the painting. So here she's just going back with an X-Acto to separate that paint layer from the tape. But because she went across the tape, and it's impossible not to, that paint layer extended onto the tape, and it's kind of one. So that's why she got a little ripple at the edge, which is no big deal at all. And now these other edges that she cut will pull off cleanly. Now this is just frog tape. This is a great tape for doing this kind of thing. And what's great about Duralar is it's so tough. It's a great surface to tape on. So there you go with those nice clean edges. But now here comes the magic part. So she cut off a little, there was a little extra piece on there. She just cut that off. But watch this. She's going to hold it against a white piece of paper so you can see how vibrant it is, how saturated the colors are. But look at the back. I love the back. So the back is even more impressionistic. Some of the underneath layers, like that darker purple, show the detail that don't show as much from the top because they're underneath other layers of paint. But those are so much fun. Here are some of the finished projects that we did. I created a bunch of little desert scenes, and there are several more of hers mixed in as well. The supplies are in the description box. Just click that little more and be sure and click subscribe and like on your way out. Thanks so much for watching.